Hey, this is Victor from Heel Hook Photography. I wanted to do this project for a real long time, and I was finally able to do it over the summer. I wanted to get 6 ladies of all different belt levels, ask them one question, and then see how the answer changed throughout their journey. To get the black belt, as there wasn't any local at the time, I organized a ladies-only seminar in my home gym, Clinch MMA in Poco, and Emily Kwok led it. Besides my regular sponsors, I gotta give a huge shout out to Inabreeze Marketing and Details Clothing for co-sponsoring this event. Both of the companies are run by badass females who are part of our BJJ community. Inabreeze Marketing helped me with Heel Hook Photography a couple months ago, and they also promoted this event for me and provided refreshments for the seminar. Details Clothing gave a discount code and gave me 3 gift certificates to raffle off after the seminar. She also gave each of my interviewees a pretty badass tank top. Emily is super chill, and I fanboyed pretty hard when we started the interview, hence why some of the video is a little off. Anyways, here we go. From right to left, we have Angie, a juvenile green belt from Clinch MMA, Quinn, a white belt from Clinch MMA, Andrea, a blue belt from Gracie Baja, Donna, a purple belt from Budo MMA, Jane, a brown belt from East Van BJJ, and Emily Kwok, the black belt, owner of Princeton BJJ in New Jersey.
I would show them like a couple videos first, see if they're like really into it. If they're like, oh, that looks pretty cool, like can I try that? I'm just like, yeah, okay, come to my gym. And be like, and then like, obviously we're not gonna go ham on her and like just like
What about bacon?
Obviously we're not gonna go bacon on her. And like arm bars and chokes and stuff, we're gonna like start from the basics, build her up from it. And then like when she gets like, you know, at the end of the class when we get like open mats and like you roll around, like I roll with her and then like see what she just learned, and if she like continues to like if her like if you see her eyes and like they're like gleaming and stuff, then I would say like yeah, definitely come back and like train a little bit more, like try it out for maybe like a week, come to the classes and like just give it a shot. Like you don't have to roll with the guys, like roll with the girls if you're comfortable. I would just encourage her to come.
I think sometimes being like myself, I'm always the smallest girl, and being a girl in a guy's class, you feel intimidated maybe with your size and whatnot. But you know what I tell all my girlfriends too: if I can do it, anybody can do it, right? It really is just getting into the gym is the hardest part of all, and then once you get on the mat and rolling, and I think like. What I love about it, and I tell all my friends, is like what you learn about yourself. It's not about size. This is one martial art that's not about size, and that you can still dominate. And it's, you know, they say jiu-jitsu is a gentle art. It really is. It looks kind of violent from the outside when you don't know the philosophy of it, but once you get into it, like it's perfect for girls. It's perfect for anybody of any size, and you learn so much about yourself and develop in that way. So it doesn't have to be for to beat people up or anything like that. It's just for yourself, and it's such a journey, amazing journey to go through. So that's what I would tell all my girlfriends.
Andrea?
I would tell girls to do jiu-jitsu if they didn't have a lot of confidence in themselves, and if like they were scared in general of people around. So what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is I encourage the girls that I feel they don't have enough confidence in themselves when they could, and sometimes like I run into girls like that and I'm like, you know, maybe you should try jiu-jitsu. And jiu-jitsu is a hard thing to get into. It's not easy. And when I run into a lot of girls like training partners, and they would stop training jiu-jitsu after like a week, 2 weeks, but it takes way more than that, because you're gonna be getting beat up for like months, and you're just gonna have to like accept years. Until you start seeing that you're actually doing something, right? But until you see that you're doing something, you're gonna feel discouraged, like you suck, you're not very good. But that's all part of the process, and once you get to like the stage where you're like, oh, I actually swept it, like that was my first sweep. That feeling is so rewarding. And like before, I was always like confident, like in the outside, but now I can honestly say like I'm confident and I can back that up, you know? Like I can walk out on the streets at like 3 a.m. and I'm not scared of anything. Like I actually like hung out with like these, like I met these people at work and I hung out with them.
I know, right?
her on the mat.
Please don't pick fights with people.
But I'm just saying, like, fuck, I love jiu-jitsu. It's good. I think like girls should do jiu-jitsu because they wouldn't be scared of men, you know? Like, why? I'm not scared of guys anymore. So why should any other girl be scared of guys? That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
Enough said.
So I think that the huge part of it is getting women to see that it doesn't have to be different, and really the mechanics are not different, and that's really important. But what I would say to someone if they were hesitant is I would say I would place an emphasis on gym culture. So find a gym or a dojo that is really supportive of women, of people in general, really, and that usually, if the gym is supportive, respectful, etc., then it's going to extend to being a great environment for a woman to train at. And you know, that's definitely what I did when my husband and I moved here. We were originally from the States, and we've been training for a few years there. So when we moved here, one of the first things we did, actually I was put into contact with Emily here to find gyms in the area that would be good for me in particular. And so that's what we did. We went in and visited a few different places and kind of got a feel for what the culture was like there. And you know, once you have a gym where you trust the people that are there and you feel good about going there, then that's something that you're more likely to actually maintain a commitment with. So I think for anyone who's scared especially, you want to make sure it's an environment that they feel comfortable and protected in.
Yeah, with that, some of the girls that have come into the academy and they say, oh, you know, I've heard about this, I want to try it. And at first I always ask them, have you done any martial arts? Have you done any other sports? Just to find out what level of physicality or where they are, as well as how they might do within certain positions of, you know, doing the workouts and that prior to learning techniques. But mostly for the women that just want to come in and they've never had an experience, they don't know anything, I always say to them, basically you're going to be doing, you get a free week of coming in, you'll be training with me, and I will teach you self-defense. It won't be a lot, it'll just be a couple of things that you'll go away with, comfortable and confident that you can use while you're on your way. And it'll be small little things, and once they get into it and they realize, oh, I can do this, or oh, I can throw someone like this if they grab me, or I can get away, or they really love it. They see the little twinkle in their eye. They're like, oh, well, I didn't know I could do this, or oh, this is actually not that bad. This is pretty easy. So that's my emphasis is always, I will teach you some moves that are be efficiently for self-defense and engage them that way, because realistically, jiu-jitsu is self-defense. And that's how I was taught, and that's how I teach it is with any position. What would I do in a position that if I put in this on the streets? So that's the way I come across it.
I think going off of what Jane said, the way I look at it with any beginner is really what is at the most fundamental level. What can everyone walk away with from jiu-jitsu? Most people are not going to walk away with, I want to be a world champion. Most people won't walk away with, I want to become obsessed. But most people can walk away with, except for that one. But most people will come away with, I would like to get in better shape, try something new. I would like to learn how to stand up properly. I would like to learn how to defend myself if something really bad should ever happen. So I look at sort of more of a basic fundamental need for it, and then I bring it to their level. So I just had a student join recently who's like a former rower. He's in excellent shape, and the guy knows how to learn. So he comes to class every day as an absolute beginner with like the right kind of questions, asking, hey, well, what's the purpose of this move, and how do I do that? On the flip side, I'll have a girl that comes in, and maybe she's 100 pounds overweight, really self-conscious, never done anything like this before, but is like, I would like to learn some self-defense, or I would like to just get more active. The most common thing that I think happens with a lot of people, if they know me before they know my jiu-jitsu, they'll relate to, oh, but you're a teacher and a world champion and you own a school, and they look at all your accomplishments after so many years, and they automatically say to themselves, I cannot identify with you because I'll never be a world champion, and I'll never own a school, and I'll never do something long enough that I'll be good at it. I'll never be able to throw anybody. So the first thing that I try to do is say, listen, this is not what I ever thought I would be doing, and I certainly never started here, and this is where I started just like you. I'm not a natural athlete. I had to work really hard. I just got really into jiu-jitsu, and that's why I ended up where I am today. And I think sometimes if you give people a fundamental part of yourself that they can grab onto and relate to, they can see themselves doing it. And if you can't get someone to feel a little empowered to say, oh, well, I'm like Jane because we're about the same size. She's been training a lot longer than me, but I'm not that much smaller than her. I'm not that much bigger than her, and I can do this. It's like sort of little increments of empowerment that you give someone until they get to Angie's place where she becomes totally obsessed and wants to kill everybody. But you know, I think the whole point of the journey, like whether it's your first day or your 1000th day or like 2 millionth day in jiu-jitsu, you have to feel like you're making some progress and that you're learning to be more resilient as a person. And I think that's what most of us really enjoy about jiu-jitsu. Quinn's touched on it a few times about talking about how it's really been about your own journey and like learning how to be better yourself. That's something that you have to learn and teach yourself and be comfortable with, because most people are uncomfortable with the idea of being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So you have to let them learn how to be uncomfortable and understand you won't feel like this for long. We'll teach you how to get out of this position. And I think that's what people get addicted to, because that is a lesson that carries itself throughout life. And I think if you can connect with people on that level, they'll get jiu-jitsu.